Hello and welcome to another video on Random Delivery Driver. I wanted to do a video on where to park. It seems to be a very common question on forums and Facebook groups. So yeah, this is my take. Now obviously I kind of talk for your city unless you live in Newcastle upon Tyne anyway. But I think the principles apply to all cities. So what I normally do, this is a map of some of my city, and I've marked in blue here and here where some of the main restaurants are that I normally go to. Now what I normally do is actually park up right about here, just next to Zurich Municipal. And why, you may ask? Because there's a road that goes here, goes up here, and it can go up there to these restaurants, or there's a road that splits off and it goes down here to these restaurants. There's sometimes I also get restaurants over this roundabout and over to here. These blue dots represent the restaurants, and also it could go all the way up here to this restaurant as well. So yeah, that's the main reason why I sit in this location. Yeah, but it all depends on how busy it is. So if you are very busy, you may be coming back down off this motorway from Dresmond or wherever. You come over this roundabout, and you may pick up an order as soon as you get into this sort of area here. Because that seems to be quite a short distance to any of the restaurants, and as we know, or as you may not know actually, Deliveroo pay you depend on how far you are away from the restaurant, and then there's also a fee from the restaurant to the customer. Obviously that distance from you to the restaurant is changeable, so if you're closer to the restaurant you're going to get paid less. It's just a fact. And these purple spots over here and up here, sometimes I'll park out here if it's busy, and there's times when I get a higher value delivery, simply because the distance into town is a longer distance, and this means that Deliveroo are paying more, but they're busier, so they're searching for drivers and riders. Now I use a car. I don't use a bike, I don't use a motorbike, I use a car. So that's something I should have mentioned. But yeah, so I think it works the same way principle wise for both the motorbikes and the bicycles. Depending on how close you are to the restaurant, then you might get an order for that restaurant. So yeah, because the distance is shorter, the Deliveroo will pay you less. So it's a bit of a toss-up really, and it comes with experience as well. And it depends on how busy it is. You either drive closer to the restaurants and pick up more orders at a lower pay rate, or you drive further away from the restaurants and you pick up less orders at a higher pay rate. But on the latter one there, on that last option, that might actually play against you. You might not get anything because you're too far from any restaurant and there's too many drivers picking up orders. So you could sit around for half an hour out in the sticks. So it depends how busy you want to be really at that point. Yeah, so come back to it. So after a certain time, normally around 9 o'clock, these restaurants at the top here that are marked, and these ones here, 9-10 o'clock, these are all closed down and they'll go home. Now what I do at this time at night is actually go over to the other side of the city, and I'll park up around about here, because there's restaurants down Chinatown, there's restaurants down St James's Boulevard over here, There's Red Meze. So there's a few restaurants on the other side of town that are open a little bit later than the east side of town. So I'll park up over there, and I'm more likely to get an order from those restaurants. So yeah, again, you just have to think about where the restaurants are. What I do, I actually look at the Deliveroo app. So I've actually downloaded the app that the customers use, and you can search for orders depending on distance. Restaurants depending on distance. So yeah, that's what I do, and I'll have a look and see what restaurants are open. But this comes with experience. You know what restaurants close at 9 or 10 or 11 or stay open until 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you just drive closer to those places, because if you get the order, you're getting money in. If you don't get the order, you're just not going to get any money in. It's plain and simple like that, you know. And you really can't do anything if you get to a restaurant and you're waiting around, and you think, oh well, there's 5 riders outside of there, I would just move on to another restaurant at that point. But of course it depends how busy they are. They might be waiting for an order, or they might be collecting orders, so they might be very, very busy, which is a good thing. Then you could wait a couple of minutes, get a ping on your phone, and get an order. Yeah, so I think that covers everything really. So it just depends on how busy it is. If it's very busy, you're likely to get an order on the way back into town. But if it's not very busy, just park up somewhere where the Deliveroo system can actually think, hey, you're near 3 restaurants at north of town, 3 restaurants at south of town, so you're close to all of them, and then it will send you to one of those 6 restaurants or so. The other tactic is driving to out of town. There's I haven't got a map of it, but about a mile or 2 out of town there is a couple of restaurants, and sometimes there's no riders at all waiting out there. So yeah, it depends on, you may want to go there first if it's on your way into town, but just remember to have a look at the app, make sure that they're actually selling today. They might have a problem and not be able to do orders, so you might be sitting outside the restaurant or the subway or whatever you're going to, and thinking, oh, they'll get an order in 5 minutes, and I often wait probably 5 or 10 minutes at most before moving on to another place within town. And this is where Netflix comes in. So yeah, Netflix and a good data contract on your phone. But I think that covers it all. You just gotta work out where the restaurants are, get close to those restaurants, and then you get the orders from them basically. If you don't like the restaurant, don't park close to it. As simple as that, and then you won't get those orders. I hope this was helpful. Give the video a like, give us a subscribe, and I want to get more content out, more videos out. If there's something you want me to ask, or want to ask me, I'm not a Deliveroo employee. I don't work for Deliveroo. I am self-employed Deliveroo driver, of course, but I don't actually work for them in their offices or anything like that. But if you've got a question I may be able to answer, then do put it in the comments and I'll give that a read. Alright, thanks for watching. Give us a like and subscribe.